Okay, goodbye. 958k hit? Hey, what's up guys, it's Nick2. Today I'm going to be showing you guys what I believe to be the absolute best Devastator build in the entire game. Surprisingly, I actually didn't think that this was possible, but surprisingly this build does a pretty good amount of damage. As you can see from the gameplay, we're able to just absolutely melt certain things like bosses, etc. There's a few different ways to set this up, so I'll be making sure to talk about all of those in the video. But as you can see, you could very easily do Boomtown in like under 4 minutes with this. I did a pretty bad run of Boomtown and got like 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And also, I have gameplay of me doing a Stargrave at the end of the video if you want to see how it pans out in a full run. But this build is overall incredibly consistent and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, so let's just hop right into it. Real quick before I get into the build, I wanted to mention that my build takes a lot of inspiration from this build that I found here from Divine Games. I've changed a good amount about the build, but I did want to give credit to him. So if you guys are interested, he makes a lot of videos for builds, etc. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. Divine Games, pretty good stuff here. I pretty much made a very similar build, but I changed a lot of stuff about it to make it, in my opinion, a bit better. I also want to quickly mention that I have partnered up with NordVPN. So if you guys are for some reason browsing the internet without a VPN, you're trolling using a VPN, you could do all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to really go into a full ad read about that, so if you guys are interested in getting a VPN, please make sure to use my code in the description with NordVPN. Helps me out a ton. And also, I plan to make a video on AP Trickster, but I want to know if you guys actually want to see that. So if you guys want to see an AP Trickster build, please comment and leave a like down below so that I know that you guys are interested in seeing that. Without further ado, let's get right into the build. So, the main setup with this build is that I'm using 3-piece Death Proof. Sorry for the horrendous transmog, this was a meme, but I'll go over every piece. The main part of this build is that I'm using 3-piece Death Proof. The reason being is that reduces the cooldown of Boulder Dash, and whenever you use Boulder Dash, it increases your firepower, or by default, you increase your firepower by 15% of whatever your armor is. Pair that with a lot of other things that I'm going to be talking about when I show all of the gear. Basically lets your firepower scale exponentially, and you just end up doing a lot of damage with that. That is why we're using the skill Boulder Dash. Truthfully, I hate this skill. Animation-wise, it's pretty annoying to have to press it and use it. It feels a little clunky. You can't really, point yourself where you want to go properly. Like, you can't move, I guess, completely while you're using it, which is a little bit rough. In terms of the other skill, the third skill here where I have Gravity Leap, you can put literally whatever you want. I have Gravity Leap just for movement and to be able to get out of sticky situations, I guess. But you could use whatever you want. If you liked using Tremor or Endless Mass or Impale or Reflect, whatever, you can use whatever you want. But I would recommend using this just for the mobility, because pretty much we already have a kinetic skill and we already have our protection skill, which is going to be Golem here. This is pretty much where we're getting all of our survivability. With Golem and with one mod, you have Golem up almost all the time, which is just 65% damage reduction, which is insanely strong. Now, if you were to use this node in the class tree Champion, where anytime you use a protection skill, it increases your damage, you would then swap off of Gravity Leap probably and then put on Reflect Bullets, because the way that we're using Golem is that we're not going to have very much uptime on this node, right? If we were to be using Golem with the mod that we're using, basically we just want to have Golem up all the time. So then you'd prop on Reflect Bullets, because it's like the only other protection skill, just to be able to benefit from that node. I don't really think it's worth it. I think it's better to just get another skill point, which I ended up putting into Weapon Leech, the additional skill point that I got, which is a good bit of extra survivability, and then I just pop on the kinetic thing. But if you want to do a little bit more damage, that's probably a negligible difference. In terms of the rest of the skill tree, the reason that I spec'd it this way, I don't know, I mean, it's pretty standard stuff, just armor piercing, weapon damage, weapon damage, weapon damage, whatever. If you want to use a shotgun, you can swap out Assault Master to shotgun damage and then get the shotgun damage node here. I think it's really important to get heirloom armor. Whenever you kill somebody in close range, you get some of their armor, which is very good, especially because we're transferring armor to firepower. And then the rest of the stuff is pretty basic. One thing that's really important to know is Altered Charge. When a kinetic skill ends, increase your weapon damage by 70% for 10 seconds. You don't really have to play around this too much. Just make sure to use Boulder Dash once every 10 seconds. It's pretty much the only gameplay thing that this really impacts. In terms of how we're setting this up, so in the gameplay you probably saw that I used a Burst AR, and I also used the SMG. The SMG I think is ultimately better when you're actually playing maps and you want to consistently clear things, because you use Dark Sacrifice paired with Ultimate Damage Link. Ultimate Damage Link just AoEs everything down, but also for some reason it like has a tendency to double dip. I don't really know how this works, but something is broken with it, with how it scales off of getting additional percent weapon damage. modifiers, it seems, anyway. That's why I was able to kill Dr. Detonator in like half a second while not even shooting at him, is literally just because of ultimate damage link. This setup is my favorite version of it, even though I absolutely hate using SMGs, and SMGs are pretty bad. This is the best version of it, I think, because the Fatal Symbiont is already going to come with Dark Sacrifice to kind of mitigate the fact that it's a garbage SMG, and with it having ultimate damage link, or with it already having Dark Sacrifice, you can put ultimate damage link on it, which is pretty nice. So you can do that. Alternatively, you can use the gun that ultimate damage link comes on. What is it? The Voodoo Matchmaker, I think. I could be completely wrong. I don't remember what the gun is. You could use that gun. You could also use a Death Shield with Dark Sacrifice, or sorry, not Dark Sacrifice, with Fortress and Ultimate Damage Link. I don't really like using that because without ammo mods, you just are reloading all the time, and that's not very fun, which is another reason why the SMG is good, because you reload really quickly. Alternatively, you can use a Burst AR with like Dark Sacrifice and Gravedigger, or you could even put Ultimate Damage Link on the Burst AR. Similar problem is that just because, you know, the mag size is short and everything, you end up spending a lot of time reloading. It just doesn't really feel good, and then it's not going to have a lot of damage because you're not going to have Dark Sacrifice on it. And one of the main benefits of Burst AR is that it has a high crit multiplier, but with this build, playing close range and preferably doing a lot of alien maps, you're not really going to be using, or sorry, you're not really going to be going for headshots. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to do that. So that's why with the SMG, you can kind of just mindlessly shoot and kill everything, and this is just my favorite variation of this. But you can use all those weapons. Something that Divine Games showed in his build, which I think is a pretty good idea. It's a little bit annoying to play with, but it's pretty good if you want to use a Burst AR. You can actually just put Embalmer's Rage on your Fatal Symbiont, kill something, weapon swap to your TAC AR, and then kill something with the TAC AR and gain Embalmer's Rage. It's really annoying to micromanage that every like 4 seconds, but that's an option. I tried that at first, and I kind of liked it, but also just creating the kill opportunities and stuff, it just takes too much time, and ultimately I care about, you know, doing maps quickly and efficiently, and it just didn't really feel good to do that. So I would recommend against it, and this is very console friendly. Just put the SMG on it and run around. In terms of the gear that you want, so we're going to be going with 3-piece Deathproof. I do want to say that I think that the 3 pieces of Deathproof, well, I don't think, I know that there's a bug with it, at least when it comes to Fortress and then multiplicative scaling based off of armor, and basically Fortress like recalculating things. There's a whole Reddit post about it. If I remember, I'll link it in the description. I don't know if this current version of this build, with me not using Fortress, etc., is actually taking advantage of whatever is bugged. Even the devs don't know how it's bugged. Even the guy that discovered this doesn't exactly know how it's bugged. To me, it seems perfectly possible that something is being calculated incorrectly. I don't really know how, but it just seems to scale a little bit out of control and do a lot more damage than it should. But regardless, for now, we'll just pretend that it's correct. Either way, it probably won't get patched for a while, so you don't really have to worry about it. But basically, the whole thing about this build is that with Deathproof, you reduce the cooldown of your Boulder Dash, and then every time you Boulder Dash, you're going to get extra armor with Primal Armor. And there's other ways that you can scale your armor with like Death's Door, mitigation from death, etc. And then you can end up just scaling your armor really high, and then your firepower is going to scale based off of your armor. And that's pretty much the crux of the build. Pair that with a whole bunch of other mods that just increase your damage by flat amounts, you'll end up doing a lot of damage. So everything that I'm using the 3 pieces of Deathproof, the chest piece with Golem of Death. This is our survivability mod pretty much, where anytime that Golem is up, when we kill somebody, it extends the duration by 2 seconds, so we have Golem up almost all the time as long as you play properly, which is very, very good. Alternatively, if you don't want to use this and you don't want to use Golem like that, you could use a Perseverance Shield. That's a very solid survivability mod. Pair that with Mitigation from Death, you're pretty much nearly unkillable, especially with all the inherent extra armor that you get with Devastator, especially with the heirloom armor, etc. You have a ton of armor by default, but it's not, I wouldn't consider it overkill because we want to get all that armor. You are going to reach the cap. You'll even go over the cap, but that's good because we get extra firepower, right? And then I'm using the Deathproof legs with Primal Chain Gun and Personal Space. Primal Chain Gun's really good because every enemy damaged by this skill is going to increase our weapon damage, stacks up to 5 times, so hit a lot of enemies with our Boulder Dash, and then that increases our damage. I'm using the Deathproof gloves instead of the Deathproof helmet. It's level 49, but it doesn't really matter. You can also use the helmet if you want. I don't think I have it in my inventory right now. Oh, yeah, I do. The Deathproof helmet comes with Primal Rage and something that makes Boulder Dash reduce the resistance of enemies. It's pretty much worthless. You can use this if you want because it has firepower, but I just decided to go with the gloves because the gloves come with Death's Door, which happens to double our armor. I don't think that this works past the cap, but it's not really, I mean, like, losing 8,000 firepower doesn't really matter, and I would just rather have this regardless. So, using the gloves, but you could very easily just use the helmet, and then you just deal with Primal Rage being a dead mod. You don't need cooldown reduction for Boulder Dash because it's already short enough cooldown. And then I have Dum Dum Bolts for extra damage, and then on my boots, the 2 purple pieces, you want firepower, cooldown reduction, and close range damage. I guess you don't really need cooldown reduction. Cooldown reduction is nice for your gravity leap. You could put skill life leech, I guess, if you wanted to get a little bit of skill leech for every time that you use Boulder Dash to heal. Doesn't really matter, you mainly just wanted to have close range damage. My helmet, I have Sharp Eye Bloodlust for that easy damage, and then my boots, I have Captain Hunter Mitigation from Death. Mitigation from Death for the survivability, of course, for the armor, and then Captain Hunter for the extra damage to elites. I've tested a lot of different ways to set this up, a lot of different mods, etc., and this is what I found to be the most consistent and the best version of the build. If you guys have any recommendations or you have any questions, feel free to leave it down in the comments. Now I'm just going to hop over to some gameplay. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you do want to see a Trickster video, make sure to leave a like on the video and comment down below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Gamer died? Yeah. I wanted to do it again. Alright. Let me turn the music down a little bit. It's a little on the loud side. Beginning part of this map, pretty annoying, but the rest of it's nice. When all the crawlers get owned, that's a good time. We like when that happens. It's fun. Alien maps are fun because of that. Doesn't feel like you're as penalized for using an SMG. I don't think aliens have as much armor either. I could be making that up, but I think that's how that works, and that's why alien maps are a little bit easier with Devastator. Let me know if I'm making that up or not. Alright, so got rid of all the guys that are usually annoying and waste my time, so we're happy. We happy. Anyone wondering why I'm ADSing all the time? It's because Sharp Eye and Mitigation from Death. I could probably hip fire more than I am. I'm kind of conditioned to ADSing from playing all the other characters. Hip firing does feel kind of cool with SMG though. Alright, see, can we get some damage link action here? Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. We weapon swap to the burst when the big guy spawns? May as well. That's no damage because I don't have my kinetic damage buff up. Or the Boulder Dash armor, but that's okay. Neither does ADSing. Hey, dude. It's not that bad. Oh, why is that guy not dead? Why is that guy not dead, huh? Oh, what's he up to? It's weird that ultimate damage link is like broken, but it's the only way to make this character like work. Or be nearly as good as the other ones. Yeah, the SMG is just, we don't talk about it, dude. We don't talk about whatever's wrong with it. We just live in a world. We live in a society. We deal with it. What's up, dude? Can you do me a favor and not do that, please? It's a little annoying. Thank you. We got him. We got him down, sir. Oh man, you can't see the timer because of my camera. We're at 250. We're at 250. That's not bad, I think. I really have no idea what I'm usually at. I've only done it a couple times, right? So. Damn, hop off! Oh my god! Please. I have 5 children. That was bad. That was a bad display. This part of the map is probably the hardest part, or the most unfortunate for our setup. A little rough because of the birds and hard to get armor buff and stuff. We're chilling now though, and now we get to the fun part. We get to the fun part right here. Which spawn is first? This one? That's the fun part, dude. I don't know what it is about the crawlers, how they spawn here, whatever. But you just boulder dash them, hit the other guys, and then you hit them and they kind of get melted. Oh no, it messed up. Messed up because of the damage link. We get it on this one. I swear there's something happening with how damage link works. If you like shoot the little guy and then you hit the big mob and then he has damage link on him, he takes double damage, I swear. Like there's no other explanation for that guy dying in half a second. World record firepower Devastator. Oh no. Oh no, is that real? Is that real? Is this actually world record pace, dude? That is real, dude. I guess because nobody does it, dude. That's really funny. Oh, the old records got wiped from pre-New Horizon? That's why. That makes sense. I wonder if the shotgun setup would do it faster. Probably. Probably just because of the raw demos. I really want that node that increases the range considered to be close range. That would be nice, but not really realistic to get it. Having to be super close to everything is kind of annoying though. I don't know, it would maybe be worth it. There might be a world where it's worth spec into that. Man, I absolutely hate the leap when I can't leap into mobs that are spawning. It's so dumb. It's actually infuriating that that happens. Okay, goodbye. 958k hit? No, dude, this is almost sub 6. No. No, it's almost sub 6. No, I tried, boys. I tried. I think the middle part scuffed me. So close. So close, gamers. She a layer stinky? Retry? Eh, who cares, dude? Who cares, dude? 608's fine. Man, I did the beginning part way faster, but I just messed up in the middle. Why do you guys want me to redo it? That's good enough. Alright. I mean, you could easily... I'll show the damage link damage. You can very easily do that at like 5:30 or something if I actually played the game properly. Look at the damage link, dude. 74 million. Did almost more than my SMG. On some maps it'll actually do more. Thanks for watching, YouTube boys.